All right. Well, good evening and welcome to the Railroaders Memorial Museum. My name is Joe DiFrancesco and I'm the Executive Director. Tonight I have the privilege of welcoming city officials, local leaders, stakeholders to hear the 2023 State of the City address by Mayor Pacifico. This is a tremendous honor for me and the institution. I'd like to take this opportunity to provide a State of the Museum address, talk about a captive audience, which the mayor has been so kind to oblige. Under new management and a new board of directors since 2020, we are proud to play a part in revitalizing a keystone in the local tourism economy. When I arrived on the scene in 2020, the museum had many challenges, including significant debt, a very large mortgage that we were able to all take care of within the first year during the pandemic, and thanks to a very large donor who left us in their will, as well as other donors. We have secured the foundation through physical restructuring and adapting during the COVID-19 economy. We are continuing to adapt our operating model as we navigate these uncertain times. We have made it through with the generous support of visitors, donors, and public and private grants. And I must say, volunteers have played a big part in keeping this organization alive through the past, through thick and thin. The team and I have sought to reinvigorate the museum by getting back to the basics, back to its core mission of being a memorial to the men and women who built this town. We honor their achievements and legacy through telling the story of work in Altoona, Railroad City. There are three major pillars to our mission. The museum itself is housed in historic former Pennsylvania Railroad Master Mechanic's office building, which was home to hundreds of workers and renowned Altoona machine shops and middle division. The second pillar is the Horseshoe Curve National Historic Landmark, a park and observation area drawing tens of thousands a year to that site alone. And finally, the Spirit of Altoona, K4 1361. It is our priority to return the locomotive back to operation, hauling tourists and hosting a new educational component to the museum's mission. We seek to take the museum on the rail, not only in Altoona, but beyond Altoona, Railroad City, to towns across the region and the Northeast. It is a big endeavor, and this is not a new endeavor, but is one that we are determined to make it finished and complete. Yes, the K4 has a checkered past, but that's in the past, and we must save the K4 to operate it, to educate new generations so they can learn what our ancestors did here. They designed, built, operated, and maintained tens of thousands of steam locomotives. The K4 is indeed a worthwhile cause, and we hope that you feel the same. We can complete the locomotive with your support by donating, visiting, or buying a museum membership. The three pillars combined will create a robust tourism economy for the region and will host opportunity for economic development and growth. The fourth pillar in development is our STEM education component that will encompass the other three areas as well. To be housed in the Harry Bennett Memorial Roundhouse, we will partner with educational institutions to host labs on railroading technology and innovation. The museum will have a focus not only on the past of railroading, but an emphasis on the future. On your way in here this evening, you may have noticed some dirt mounds and construction notices. Our new outdoor space is under construction. Underway is the creation of a new space that will be a museum fundraising center, hub of the downtown community, with the support of the North American Railway Foundation. The new space will host a new stage, sidewalks, lighting, landscaping, and a memorial, all designed to emphasize the historic architecture of the Master Mechanic's office building. To be named the Luther G. Smith Memorial Yard. Luther G. Smith was a railroader in Altoona around 1900. He would go on to establish the Brotherhood of Compensation Relief Fund, creating a fund for injured railroaders who would be without pay if they were injured on the job. Today, the North American Railway Foundation the Brotherhood's charitable arm, is responsible for funding this new project. We are thankful for their investment into our museum and their interest in helping us better serve the Altoona community. We are anticipating a midsummer reveal. There will be limited events scheduled for the new space and plans for a full lineup of events such as fundraisers, entertainment programs, and educational programs. Our collective dreams can only become a reality when the vision is matched with the resources. Neither can thrive without that critical union. This evening, the museum gift shop will remain open until 7:30 p.m., and we hope you take the time to visit the exhibits and step back in time. In addition, immediately following the mayor's message, we invite you to view the 27-minute film, Altoona at Work, in the auditorium right down the hall. It is short, but it is definitely worth a while to look back into Altoona's railroad history. Once again, thank you for being here at the Railroaders Memorial Museum. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce Councilman Dave Ellis. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you, Joe. On behalf of City Council, it is my privilege to welcome you to Mayor Pacifico's 2023 State of the City event. Please welcome elected officials and public officials joining us this evening. Elizabeth Kishbaugh, representing United States Senator Bob Casey. Jennifer Markle, representing United States Congressman John Joyce. Jim Caltagirone, representing Senator Judy Ward. Blair County Commissioner Laura Burke. Blair County Commissioner Bruce Erb. Altoona School District Member Chris Cook. Altoona City Council members Jesse Ickes, Ron Beatty, and Dave Butterbaugh. City Manager Omar Strom, and a special guest joining us from the Pennsylvania Municipal League Executive Director John Brenner. We thank Joe and the Railroad Museum for opening the doors, hosting this event. A special thanks to the Mayor's gem of a resource, Bonnie. She handled the behind-the-scenes stuff to make this event successful. To provide the State of Altoona address, I'm honored to introduce Mayor Matt Pacifico.
Good evening, everybody. Members of City Council, honored guests, and fellow residents, good evening and thank you for being here. As your mayor, I am honored this evening to share with you some of the key accomplishments the city has seen over the past year. The mayor's office itself has seen some changes, moving from the second floor to the first floor of City Hall in Suite 101. My office also issues a monthly e-newsletter, which can be accessed through the city's website or by subscribing to receive it each month through email. To be successful, all city departments must collaborate to achieve our goals for the betterment of our city. We made great strides in 2022 and are poised to do even greater things in 2023. I am proud to report on some of the achievements of each city department this evening. The city manager's office is engaged in all aspects of the city's administration, including management of the American Rescue Plan, or commonly known as ARPA funding. This funding was used for many projects, including the renovation of properties such as the Margaret Avenue facility and the city's highway garage, a revolving loan for businesses in the city, and business district revitalization grants. You will hear more about this important funding throughout this address. The city manager was a principal player in the reactivation of the Altoona Redevelopment Authority, including the sale of the McCrory building on 11th Avenue that is being repurposed into a food market and upscale apartments. The city manager was also instrumental in the purchase of the former downtown drug building at 15th Street and 11th Avenue in order to expand the current police building, and oversaw a parking study of the city's downtown. The city manager was also active within City Hall, concluding a collective bargaining process with all unions representing city employees and hiring 4 new department directors, including a new fire chief in October. A new common room was open, which provides a large, modern meeting space and a space where employees can have adequate social distancing during meetings, lunch, and training events. The Public Works Department was busy this year using ARPA funds to complete 2 stormwater projects, with 6 more of these scheduled in 2023. The department purchased 2 new street sweepers, a new backhoe, and dump truck. ARPA funds were also used to clean and repair over 1,000 pipes and inlets. Other improvements were made this year by Public Works in their ongoing efforts to increase the safety of students and pedestrians. These included installing sidewalks on East Cherry Avenue between Kettle Street and Juniata Gap Road, updating school times with flashers at various locations throughout town, completing a safe route to school pedestrian project on 17th Street, installing lights on a second field at Garfield Park, and installing another phase of LED streetlights. They were diligent in their inspection of the 21 city-owned bridges and annual maintenance on the Juniata Memorial Spray Park, Prospect Pole, and over 60 signalized intersections. Public Works received over $2 million in grant funding for the improvement of the Transportation Center and the replacement of a signal at 13th Avenue and 13th Street. A portion of these funds was used to pave and reconstruct streets in some areas of the city, including Hamilton Park, and to replace sidewalks in the Fairview Hills affordable housing development. The Department of Codes and Inspections made significant advancements in the fight on blight in 2022. As you know, blighted, abandoned, and vacant properties are a danger to the public and can lead to an increase in crime. Blight creates a negative appearance in our neighborhoods and impacts adjacent property owners and the community as a whole. The result is a loss of real estate tax revenue. The city has been diligent in bringing misdemeanor charges against repeat code offenders, resulting in improved compliance with many properties experiencing code violations. In continued efforts to fight blight, 13 city properties were demolished at a cost of $147,000. However, 7 homeowner loans were provided in the amount of $216,000 to improve existing dwellings. Most importantly, $311,000 was given through the rental rehabilitation program for the improvement of 16 rental properties. Clearly, we are working hard to make our city blight-free. For properties, buildings, or structures that are declared condemned, Senate Bill 940 has been of great benefit, as this bill allows the city to file an order with the county that is a legal notice to all purchasers or prospective buyers of the property. Although most properties are condemned for violations that can be easily corrected, dangerous condemned structures are included in the order. Last year, the city demolished 11 properties that posed hazards to health and safety, making these parcels available for the land bank for future investors in our ongoing efforts to revitalize the city. City finances remain a priority because the city must remain fiscally responsible in order to provide services to those who live, work, and do business here. Despite the rising cost of inflation, the city was able to balance the 2023 budget with no tax increase through the use of ARPA funds. This money was also used to fund the vast majority of the city's 2023 capital budget and is projected to fund a number of capital improvements in 2024 as well. A new accounting manager was hired in the finance department in June of 2022. The addition of this position enabled the city to reduce the number of audit findings for fiscal year 2021 and, moving forward, will be deeply involved in supporting the accounting functions and activities within the finance department. The Altoona Police Department hired 11 new police officers in 2022. All new officers are required to complete 919 hours in the police academy and a 6-week field training program before working alone. Each APD officer also completed mandatory annual updates, and each receives important de-escalation training. APD officers responded to over 25,000 calls for service, an average of 70 calls per day. However, members of APD still found time to do some great fundraising work supporting local charities. Officers raised $1,700 in the 6.7-mile law enforcement torch run and jumped in the frigid waters of Canoe Creek for the Polar Plunge, raising over $7,500 for the Pennsylvania Special Olympics. 52 officers participated in the second annual No Shave November program, donating $2,600 to the Amelia Scherer Foundation. The Fraternal Order of Police and Department's Fire Union held the Guns vs. Hoses charity hockey game, donating $4,300 to family services. There were numerous other charity events, including National Night Out, the Home Run Derby at the Altoona Curve, and Cocoa with the Popo at Green Bean Coffee House. Winter hats and gloves were provided to local youth, and the department teamed up with Professionals Auto Body to collect Christmas presents, providing a happy Christmas morning for over 100 local children in need. Current and retired members of APD placed 400 flags on veteran grave sites at Fairview Cemetery for Memorial Day and continued the community outreach program in which officers visit city parks, polls, housing complexes, churches, and various neighborhoods to personally interact with the community. The Altoona Fire Department appointed a new fire chief, Adam Free. Adam previously served as the interim fire chief from July through September before being named the new fire chief. The AFD also hired 7 new firefighters in 2022. Each new firefighter completed a 10-week fire academy program that included physical fitness training, 400 hours of study, and 8 fire board certifications to be able to serve our city. In 2022, AFD responded to 2,883 calls for service, including 37 structure fires. In an exceptional display of dedication, 4 firefighters were awarded Medals of Valor and 9 were awarded the Life-Saving Medal for their heroic actions in the April 17th fire at the Logan Hills Apartments. In May, the AFD also welcomed a new special member, Lucille, an accelerant canine provided by a grant from State Farm Insurance. Lucille was trained to assist in fire investigations to detect small traces of accelerant that could potentially start a fire. During Fire Prevention Month in October, Altoona firefighters visited over 3,700 children at 20 schools and daycare facilities, teaching students about home escape plans, the importance of smoke detectors, and the role of stop, drop, and roll. A $20,000 grant from Firehouse Subs helped to purchase 2 new thermal imaging cameras, replacing 2 14-year-old cameras that are no longer repairable. The AFD received an additional grant of $15,000 from the Pennsylvania State Fire Commission, which was used to replace much-needed outdated equipment. The Altoona Fire Department coordinated with the Central Pennsylvania Foundation and Peerless Specialties to repaint the Gospel Hill flagpole and to perform maintenance on the pole's pulley and cable system. United States Representative John Joyce visited the department in August, and the AFD hosted Pennsylvania Senator Judy Ward and Pennsylvania State Representative Lou Schmidt in July. These visits are instrumental in raising awareness for our state and federal leaders about the successes and challenges our local fire department faces. We publicly extend thanks to both the Altoona Police Department and the Altoona Fire Department for their commitment to our safety and their charitable work in our city. The Department of Community Development hired a new director, Diana White, along with 2 new staff positions to support increased effectiveness and productivity. The city hosted Regional HUD Director in late September for a day-long meet and greet visit, and the department staff provided a tour of the city, highlighting various HUD-funded projects, including a new family services shelter project. This tour provided staff with the opportunity to familiarize the HUD director with local homelessness programs and highlight the area's needs in anticipation of applying for home ARP funds. The city is committed to improving the look and quality of all of our neighborhoods. To that end, I facilitated the allocation of $1 million in ARPA for the Redevelopment Authority to fund residential and commercial projects that included purchasing 4 properties from the county. The Redevelopment Authority Land Bank was operationalized during the year. A land bank is a tool for local governments to rescue problematic properties from vacancy, abandonment, and tax foreclosure, returning these properties to productive use, thereby reducing community deterioration and improving neighborhood quality. Another advantage of the land bank is its ability to purchase judicial sale properties by conveying them into the hands of responsible developers who will refurbish them to productive use and get them back on the tax rolls. The land bank also redevelops vacant plots to stabilize and invest in our older neighborhoods by making these lots more attractive for resale. This year, the city transferred 16 vacant lots to the land bank, resulting in the sale of 13 of these properties. The remaining vacant properties will be moved to the land bank in 2023. Grant funding of $500,000 helps small businesses within the city to renovate buildings, purchase or upgrade equipment, and acquire property. 27 grants were awarded, and approximately 50% of those projects are now complete. Recipients have until December 31st to complete their projects, and a new round of small business grants has been announced. We support the growth of small businesses here in Altoona and are encouraged by the dynamic small business owners who have chosen to call Altoona home. City Council authorized the use of $5 million of ARPA funds to provide low-interest loans up to $500,000 each to city businesses as part of its COVID recovery efforts. These are a revolving loan fund that will recycle revenue into the economy. A total of 14 businesses were assisted during the year, with the funds generating $49.4 million in additional investment in our city. Bringing new businesses to the city remained priority, and 2022 was a busy year. I am proud to report that 167 new business licenses were issued last year, representing growth in our economy and jobs for our citizens. As part of my commitment to the community, and as a result of interaction with other mayors, legislation was approved for a Local Economic Revitalization Tax Assistance Act, or LRTA. I led this citywide effort in partnership with the county and the Altoona Area School District to encourage residential and commercial owners to invest in their properties, receiving a tax incentive in the process. LRTA provides the opportunity for all city homeowners and commercial property owners to improve their properties with a 5-year discount period on property taxes for any new improvements made. By encouraging residents and property owners to invest in their properties, we can revitalize neighborhoods. Community development provided funds to family services for an extensive renovation of the former Drenning Warehouse and Garage located at 2300 North Branch Avenue. It contains 35 shelter units for the homeless with family gathering areas, meeting space, staff space, medical space, and laundry facilities. 6 subsidized permanent housing apartments, including 2 that are handicap accessible, were constructed upstairs to expand affordable housing in the city. The funds will also support operating costs of the shelter. April of 2022 saw the opening of the Curry Innovation Center in the former Vipon building on 11th Avenue in downtown Altoona. A collaborative effort between the Curry Supply Company and St. Francis University has created research space for engineering, environmental, and business students that will ultimately help Curry employees solve real-world problems encountered by the company. The university used the space for research during the summer months and began fully utilizing the facility in the fall. ARPA funding continues to assist emergency shelter and support services, including the Salvation Army, Catholic Charities, Blair County Community Action, and meal preparation by the Nehemiah Project for homeless and needy persons in the lower Fairview area. In a separate funding opportunity, the Altoona Blair County Development Corporation invested $53 million in total project costs during 2022 for the revitalization of our business community. These projects led to the creation of over 150 new or existing jobs. The city partnered with the Central Blair Rec and Park Commission in successful fundraising and community improvement efforts, including the annual CBRC and Compass Health Golf Classic and the annual Community Classic Dinner and Auction. These funds help to provide programming opportunities as well as community park development. A 20-year-old piece of playground equipment in Geesey Park was identified and replaced. City Council acted immediately to facilitate the replacement of this worn equipment as it posed a danger to children. The Commission, in partnership with the Blair County Pickleball Club, raised over $100,000 to construct 6 new pickleball courts at Garfield Park, replacing outdated tennis courts. This commission oversees and maintains roughly 25 parks and recreation facilities within our community. In 2022, this included the Hamilton Park project with a paved walking track, upgraded softball field, playground climber, and 4 pickleball courts. Improvement of the basketball courts at the Don Witherspoon Park, formerly Booker T. Washington Park, are slated for 2023. The Human Resources Department welcomed a new director, Elizabeth Reindl. Within City Hall, 34 new staff were hired and trained in 2022. The new director worked extensively to develop a new policies and procedures manual for City Hall staff. In addition, a policy manual for non-uniform employees was implemented and updates were made to the police department and fire department policies. As you've heard this evening, the City of Altoona, its citizens and organizations continue to work together to improve and revitalize our streets, homes, and parks, and expand community events and activities so our city can grow and thrive. 2022 has seen many changes, but I want to briefly look ahead to 2023 and the upcoming initiatives that will bring increased prosperity and growth to the city. My strongest priority is the improvement of the housing in our city. This means providing programs and incentives to assist homeowners in the rehabilitation of older or neglected properties and the construction of new housing, including housing for young professionals. This has been identified as a priority by the Redevelopment Authority, City Council, and ABCD Corp. As well. So we are working collaboratively to be creative in our approaches and look for opportunities never before considered. As part of housing improvement, the Operation Safe Space initiative has been created to identify red tag properties that are uninhabitable but still being rented by negligent landlords to make money. In some cases, these properties are without utilities and unsafe. The goal is to remove the residents and provide them with temporary safe housing until suitable housing can be found. The first successful use of the program occurred just last month when 7 residents were evacuated from a condemned property on 14th Avenue. These citizens were paying rent in a house with no water, electricity, or heat. The city, working in conjunction with Blair County Community Action and other agencies, worked together to make this move a success, and we will continue to identify properties like this to improve the living situation of our citizens and to hold negligent landlords accountable. We also continue to seek funding opportunities to provide temporary housing for those displaced from these properties. Along with the Blair County Planning Commission, the city is creating a comprehensive plan for city growth and development over the next 10 years. A steering committee of community leaders is finished up writing a request for proposal for a consultant to complete the plan. The plan will involve stakeholders, local businesses, and the public with meetings throughout the year. The city continues their commitment to the revitalization of the downtown area, beginning with the McCrory project mentioned earlier. Additionally, renovation and repurposing are being done in the Penn Central building as well. The goal is to develop and encourage small businesses in the downtown area, such as eateries, boutiques, and other businesses that encourage downtown shopping and support the planned housing in the downtown area. City Council has established an emergency roof repair program to improve the safety and appearance of properties in our neighborhoods. Approximately 20 properties in need of a new roof have been identified by the Codes Department, and contractors are being recruited to complete the project in 2023. This is a continued step in my commitment and the commitment of City Council to the revitalization of the city. There will be a continued and escalated focus on recreation in our area, recognizing that this is one of the many things that are considered by potential new residents to our city. To that end, 2 new parks are being constructed, which has not happened in Altoona for many years. One of the parks, adjacent to Simpson Methodist on 6th Avenue, is already completed and features a bank shot basketball court. These courts are unique in that they are built to accommodate people of all ages and abilities. The second park, slated for the Garden Heights area, will also be an all-abilities park, offering physical and sensory activities for all ages and abilities, including access for chair-bound individuals. Those of us with fond memories of Prospect Pool have certainly been discouraged by its operation and condition over the past few years. The future of Prospect Pool requires a new plan of action, so to that end, I have assembled a committee of stakeholders, professionals, and skilled personnel needed to accomplish the proposed changes. The first of these changes happened on May 6, when more than 40 volunteers came together to clean, repair, and paint the pool facility. It was a successful and productive day, with lunch provided by the Bavarian Hall and Best Way Pizza. The goal for the 2023 season is to increase attendance by making the pool a fun, family-friendly, and safe place for all. The committee is working to bring special events such as an opening day celebration, splash hops, and food truck events to the pool. The Blair Regional YMCA will provide a lifeguard certification program using their facility pool to host the training. If the 2023 season is a success and interest is strong, the long-term goal is to invest in the upgrade and modernization of the pumps and filters, expanded concession choices, hosting of swim meets, and much more. To make Altoona a city we can all be proud of requires the contribution of all of us. Programs and initiatives are only as successful as the number of people who take advantage of them. Houses will not get better without owners who care about their property and their neighborhood. Recreation facilities will make an impact if people use them. I urge all of you, your families, friends, and neighbors to not be satisfied with things as they are, to want better, and to come together to make Altoona the city we know it can be. I have been honored to serve as your mayor this past year, and it is my sincere pledge to further the good work that is happening throughout the city. A city is only as strong as its citizens and leaders, and to that end, I believe we have the makings of a strong Altoona and a city we can be proud of to call home. Please feel free to continue your evening by visiting this beautiful museum, and thank you all for being here.